Hi there, folks. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Time is approaching towards 4 a.m. here. Early morning. I'll finish the videos and then I will go for morning walk. I woke up like whole of yesterday was a holiday for me, so I took a day off because it marked sort of 1 year since our independence version 2. Last year, you guys know I was outside, like I couldn't do videos, nothing. We didn't have internet because the last government, the fascist government, they sort of shut down our internet, and they were doing like almost a war against our people. So they actually, after 1 month of struggle and fight, they actually fled the country. So it marked yesterday like the 1 year of that victory day for people. So I like to wish everybody happy Independence Day, second version. Obviously, we were actually free in 1971. So this regime, basically the last regime, was actually like on top of people. They were literally like horrible government. Anyway, so things is no point of talking politics. We'll be talking about a morning thoughts episode, and my topic today is need. Okay, and this is not about fragrance game. Okay, if you are looking for fragrance related content, you can skip the video, no problem. Today, like since I woke up a bit a while ago, I had my tea and coffee, but I still sound like a vampire. I'll speak slow, okay? Hopefully you can still hear me and you will enjoy the video if you're into this morning thoughts. So the topic that I thought of, I always think, when I do walking, like working, sometimes if something interesting hits me, when I observe people or my life or, anything, movie per se, I notice some things that actually move me and make me think. Those are interesting, food for thought. And then I to wonder like why this thing happened, or could it be avoided? Fate cannot be avoided, but we make mistakes, we learn from it, right? And then, if we do not learn from our mistakes, it's just no point, like we are actually at fault, we're guilty. Sometimes we blame people, but actually blame is on us if we keep repeating the same mistake. Let's say we do not learn, the easy way. Let's say you broke up with your girlfriend and she comes back again, you had a heartbreak or she cheated on you, and then if you take her back again, that is not her fault, that is you all the way. So I'm just giving you an example, but the need, I'm going to talk in general, like the need or dependency on people for love, friendship, time, or mental health. All these are very crucial, because I am part of this world and I'm part of this system. So I was at certain point once, and then I moved, and I try to actually make myself stronger and learn from stuff and try to be disciplined. Why it's important? Because you cannot simply afford to stay in a place what is bad for you, in a dark place. Okay, may it be whatever you consume, okay, like you have dependency on it, or you're an alcoholic, or you're a smoker, whatever the bad habits, or you are dependent on people, or buying, like we have this whole like addiction of buying stuff. I personally am one of them. Okay, I cannot stop buying stuff. It's one of the reason of my downfall, perhaps. I don't have any savings. But also, if you depend on things to make yourself happy, especially things that are materialistic or worldly things, okay, obviously there are some things you can touch, you can eat, you can feel, and some of the things, you can touch, eat, it's like you can buy, but some things are untouchable. They are things you feel, you cannot touch them or see them, they are just there, like, okay. So loyalty, love, happiness, these are things are within our heart, we call it, right? But what is our heart? It's just a organ, isn't it? But we call it like our soul, our aura, or our, basically it's between the head and the heart. The chemical reactions, as well as we have been given process to think. So why is need dangerous or bad? I will try not to be too much bashing or too tough on anybody or even me, because it's not fair. Because in nowadays world, everything has to be diplomatically correct. We are under so much stress. We say things which may, we have to think like, am I going to hurt this particular group of people when I say he or she, or I have to be diplomatically correct. We call it them, that thing. Or you have to, when you talk to people, you always have to say things that are, you have to process, you have to filter so many times, like when I'm talking to this new person, how she is going to react, because I do talk and I am very careful, but at the same time sometimes I feel too much of anything is not good. Okay, when you talk to someone, you have to be genuine. If you're faking, if you're just lying and you're just giving a sweet version of whatever you think, there's just no point, man. You cannot pretend love, you cannot pretend friendship. Okay, once you become friends or in a relationship, once you start becoming yourself and they see it, they will lose interest. So be original. Even if they like it or don't like it, they don't respect it, be yourself is important. In that way you don't lose yourself. But in this process of life, we always are scared because sometimes we are effed up, we have so many past, and we don't want people to know that. Okay, so we always give our best version. Okay, women, they put makeup and give their best version. You see the profile pictures of men and women are not the same in their real life. Even if you see the other photos, they don't look the same at the face and the rest of the, these things. So if I say people, hey man, that's not nice, it's not nice, I don't care, because if you say that, let's say I lied, okay, that I am rich and I got married and she finds out that I'm not that rich, I just lied to get her. It's the same thing as women putting so much makeup and they become so beautiful. Even like you've seen those transformation before after makeup in China. One guy actually divorced his wife after seeing after makeup, like without makeup. So basically I feel that's not also fair. Guys will be like, wow, she's so beautiful, and then next morning you see them like, okay, they don't look like the same person. Sometimes they look like a dude. Okay, so I personally feel world has to be a little bit fair. It cannot be always diplomatically correct for certain gender or race. Okay, so what I was trying to say, why it's important, okay, to be not needy. Who are needy people? Needy people are not poor people. I'm not referring to people who don't have money. A lot of people who have money can be needy. Okay, and I have seen this great video. I watch a lot of these coaching classes because I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to be mentally strong and learn to cope with new situations. Because I was way dependent on someone before for my happiness, my day or whatever, security. And I realized that when you become single, these things actually sort of like open your eyes and actually helps you more than when you are in a relationship or you are with someone, because you're too dependent on someone. So let's say you are a person, A, and you are in a relationship with B, person B. You are A, she is B. Okay, and you like that person. Okay, it's not important or a must, to make her happy all the way at that point that you do 100 and she does nothing, or vice versa. Okay, but whenever she calls you, you run, you be there. She says, I'm not feeling well, I need to talk to someone. At midnight, you drive to her place and you're like, hey, I'm here, I'm all ears. You sacrifice your sleep, your work, your other things, important things to be there for her. But she is needy, okay, because she always in constant need of your time, attention, or the validation, right? It will sound like a coaching class, but I'm just sharing from my life. If you learn, it will be really great help for you. At one point you really like it, like she start acting like a psycho, she start acting like jealous. I enjoy that a little bit, I will not lie. I do like women when they are jealous that I am talking to someone, or I have a friend, I take a selfie with, and she says, who's that girl? Like that's okay, but there's sometimes extreme. You cannot expect a man to not look at other girls or talk to them, or like work with other people, because it's a world, they're everywhere, men and women, and there are boundaries. If you are maintaining your boundaries and you respect your partner and you're not doing anything wrong, but they being suspicious too much is not your issue. They have trust issues, so they actually suspect you. This is the reality. I learned it the hard way. At first I used to think like maybe I am at fault. Yeah, obviously we are men. Nobody can pretend like we are perfect. We sometimes look at women when even with our partner, it's wrong. Okay, I understand, but life is not perfect. You're not checking them out like, oh my god, we're not doing that. Maybe just head just turn, someone. If you watch a movie, let's say my last year experience, I'll tell you, even if I saved a photo of an actress, of my favorite actress, my phone, she hot, maybe she's Salma Hayek, you cannot compete with Salma Hayek. They are movie stars, and the thing is, it's insane. Let's say I do like actresses. Okay, I'll tell you, I am a guy. Okay, it's a guy thing. If you like a pretty face, Penelope Cruz, or let's say Catherine Zeta-Jones, Jessica Biel, yeah, you have fascination. Like women, they have fascination for handsome men like Tom Cruise, other guys, Brad Pitt, right? I don't see anything wrong with fascination over movie stars, right? It's a normal thing, right? Imagine they find a photo, like suddenly you're scrolling and you see like, oh, Jessica Biel, and she goes like, Why are you cheating on me? Why have her photo on the phone? And you start feeling like, something don't feel right in the air. I'm just giving a very subtle example from my life, and you'll see what's messed up. And then I was forced, like always I'm in fear, like I shouldn't be checking out any actresses and stuff because that's considered cheating. Then that process happens, then you start realizing that slowly, one bit by bit, she removed all the females from your life. Okay, great. Then what happens is, let's say you're talking to one of your friends, one of your guy friends, this is real life example from my life, and you talk to him like you guys have so much in topic in common, like you have so much gossiping to do. Hey man, in fragrance community, this guy cheated this person of money and stuff. Or you say, hey man, this guy's a show off. We gossip a lot as guys as well, okay, about fragrance and life, because we have some, sometimes we have friends like that, we have things to share, even absolute nonsense. Okay, sometimes we say, hey bro, what brand of cigarette you're smoking nowadays? I'm like, Marlboro Gold. And they'll be like, Daniel is better, isn't it? I'm like, nah. And we have a chit chat about that 45 minutes. You see, guys, we just talk about, like for hours, because it makes us happy. Okay. And the thing is, it's like, after we just vent out, sometimes some of the guys I know, they're married, they have children, they have very stressful life. So sometimes they need an ear. They sometimes share that stuff that they cannot share with their wife or their home. So they need to vent out like, hey bro, there's too much housewarming parties I have to attend, and I have to do so much work, and I have sleepless night, I cannot enjoy fragrance game. These are real, right? And the thing is, when they share, they feel better, they can go to sleep. So imagine this kind of conversation. Let's say your ex or your girlfriend, she finds out you're on phone, and even if you send her a screenshot, hey, I'm talking to my bro, they will feel jealous because that guy is taking your time. Can you believe that? And I'm not saying this is just a red flag, this is effing red flag. Okay, because at one point it's cute, oh, she likes me, she wants all my time. At one point you'll feel choked. Okay, even if the guy is doing this to you, like he is always, it has to be fair. Guy is always suspecting you. Even that, see the video, the Uber girl, like she's a passenger and the black dude comes out as a boyfriend and says, why are you cheating, who's this guy, blah blah. And even he suspects Uber. And her life, she was scared because that guy was big, right? So is it worth it staying in relationships like that? Even if you're a guy or a girl, sometimes you think girls are not that scary. Man, men who have been abused, because they love or respect a woman so much, or they are sort of softer in nature, they are not aggressive. They have been to places in mental trauma, like abusive trauma, and they can come out of it because they have been yelled at for stuff. Let's say you're wearing a hat, you look dumb, you laugh too hard, you eat popcorn a little bit loud, oh my god. Or you say, you have the, guys have some, like they throw the shoe and stuff. They're not like women. They're not very organized, right? And it's not really a crime, but women pick on that. Like you eat too loud, or you are too friendly with people, you laugh too much, you forgot to put that sit down on the toilet. Just endless examples. Or you sitting on my pillow. Of course, it's not right, but these are things, normal things. You want normalized things, right? Nothing is normalized anymore. Okay, so what I'm saying is, while you're finding these things cute, at one point you see your life is becoming a little bit like squeezed, and what point you see that you have no one else but them. Okay, and they will be very happy as long as you worship them. Okay, and it's like I'm saying it not in a literal way. You don't worship, you worship God. But when you actually want to make her happy and you sacrifice everything from your life, you do not go watch games, you don't go watch live sport, live music, you don't do anything alone. My ex told me, why did you go buy a fragrance without me? Why do you go to that event without me? Everywhere she has to be there. It is not as cute, okay? Because some things you want to do sometimes because of your work, your need, or just by yourself. That sort of space a guy or a girl should have in their life. Why? Because a person is not just a person in a relationship. The person is also a person on its own. He has his likes. Not everybody, the two people, they're not the same. The guy and girl, they're not the same. They have different likes. They have different kind of choice for food, movies, like sort of life they live, or color. It cannot be matching all the time. If you found that sort of couple, that's great. But I personally think if a guy likes steak and she likes sushi, it's absolutely beautiful. But if imagine, like she says, ew, you eat meat all day, it's just gross. He says like you taste like fish. You know what I mean? So if it's fun, it's okay. But when people get too close for comfort, that's when it's problem. That's where the need is bad, because the constant need, I need, if let's say you have gone somewhere, your phone went off, out of battery, and she couldn't find you for 2 hours, and she goes like right out of like her mind, not because she is suspecting something bad happened, but she's like, where did he go, did he cheat on me, all these negative thoughts. Even after 5 6 years of relationship, she doesn't trust you, and you always know that she's suspecting you because of her past, like trauma. This is not your fault, this is not your fault, guy, fall guy or a girl, because a person should not judge the new person based on the old ex relationships. Okay, that's not fair, because you have to understand that other new person is a new person. She is not the same as your ex, or they are not at the same level that they may hurt you or be same toxic person. Maybe she may turn out to be not perfect, but everybody is not the same, so they don't deserve the same treatment. Let's say you had bad like trust issues, right? And you are always now locked down, and you're always never going to open up, you never show your real side, you live in a trauma. That's not fair. If you're going to do that to a new person, okay, you better not get into a relationship, because you'll never be yourself. You always be acting, you'll be scared, and you'll be like, hey, let me learn from my previous examples, like previous life, and I'm never going to be sweet again because I got, let's say, something. Let's say I went to surprise party or something, she hated it, and I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to get her flowers because my ex, she hated flowers. Those videos, like, she's like, he didn't even get me flowers. And the guy goes like, you don't even like flowers. She's like, so what? I want you to get them from me. So it's very difficult to read women. Men are simple, very, very simple. They say ice cream, they want ice cream. When she says ice cream, it doesn't mean ice cream. It means something else, okay? They themselves are not sure what they want. They tell you they want you to love them, chase them, be loyal to them, all those good things, sweet things, be there, talk to them for hours, show them where you went, proof with your guys, she'll be happy, right? You ask them the same thing, they'll be like offended. Why are you checking on me? Don't you trust me? I find this very messed up. That's why I feel, sometimes relationships don't work no more. Nowadays, everything else is there. Suspicion, like judging, prejudice, ego, everything except for one thing, that people actually are attracted to people and they can talk to their partner stress-free. Nowadays, we can't do that. We say one thing, one wrong thing. Let's say we said, maybe perhaps by mistake, let's say you said that, back in the days, I miss those days, how simple life were, and, like this thing I had with my first ex. And imagine all your years of work or the good stuff is just diminished because of the one thing that you said. That's not fair. People shouldn't leave people for few things they don't, they said by error or mistake, because if people knowingly do stuff, people still deserve a second chance because of all the time you spent. Nowadays, people need one excuse to leave you. And I'll tell you, not just guys, like girls do this more, okay? So I've been there, and the thing is, like, I notice when they are in love, they will go out of their way, women, they will do anything for you. They will get you whatever you need, your time, and whatever you want them to do to make you happy, you know what I mean? Go all the way. But once they don't like you, you start seeing these signs. They will not text you as much. They will not want to see you. You have to keep begging them or asking them a few times before they meet you. When they come, they are not smiling. They're like, I'm so busy. They're taking calls, annoyed. And then they take the tantrum out on you, even if it's from outside. They take it out on you like, can you please shut up? I'm on my this issue, which they didn't do previously. And they start lying and they start hiding their phone. You see these signs, right? And then they start saying that, you don't get me, you're not nice, you start seeing those texts, and you'll know, and you'll feel like, what can I do to be better? At that point, you cannot do anything to do better, because they will constantly complain to break up with you, and you have to do the breakup. They will not do it, right? So this is a new tool, these new things that I am learning women do sometimes to men. And why? And after, let's say they cheated, those videos or the movies or real life, they cheated and you caught them, I caught my ex cheating, okay? She was still with me even though we were fighting and everything. She met me, like last year, November or something. We met for a certain reason. There was some work. And she came very late and she said I was working. She came like supposed to be there somewhere like 7 or something. She came at 8:45. I sat at one place for that long. I ate, I still waited, And then I said, no need to come, She's like, no, my car got stuck in jam. I understand. I did the maths. And I know even if it was terribly jammed, it will not take more than 1 hour. She was there after 2 hours. When she came, her face was all different. Like when you see people in love and you see people don't give an F about you. She was sitting there and then she's like, no, yeah, how's the food? And then the voice was so casual, and that's not how you used to speak. And then I noticed that, like, I'm like, so anyway, forget about the fights, all everything. How are you? And then I was trying to, like, just, like, do this, and she's like, no, squirming is the word. And then I knew, because I knew her way too well, and I knew that she was seeing someone else. She was like, no, like, she was like, not saying don't touch me, but she's like uncomfortable. And I was like, what is this? SHIT? And then I realized I immediately moved, because I am a little bit intelligent in my head. I'm dumb most of the time, but I know from close people, I know what I get, right? And then I said, you are seeing someone, aren't you? And we didn't break up. We sometimes had fights, but we didn't break up. She's like, no, it's not like that. And she saw that I figured it out, and she was in shock. And I just paid the bills, and I said, this is the bill, your bill, you send it by later, and that's it. I don't want to see you. And then I was rushing out, and she followed me to the lift, and she was just standing next to me and just looking at me. I was just looking that way, and she was like, hey, just for the like thing, I didn't cheat on you. I'm like, whatever. When you see that, that thing you faced it so many times before in your life, but someone you really trusted, and you had a build relationship, and she was that person who took you out from everyone else, and she was your only friend, and that friend does it to you, who happens to be your girlfriend also. That's the time you know what betrayal smells like. And that's the thing that will change you. That's the thing that will make you walk in the rain with thunderstorm on top of your head. You will not care. Even if it hits you, you just let it happen. You don't care. You don't have an awareness. I went through that for 2 months, and my ex really tried her best to put it inside me that, you have to miss me. This is what I did after you, or when I was with you, and how he was so better and everything. Later, obviously, she was not happy, right? And then after 2 months of struggle, depression, everything, I made myself okay, going through that stuff, transformation, new life, okay? So these thing happens, like it takes you to extreme, you have extreme happiness, you go wild, like wild girls, right? You like crazy girls. They never turn out to be very stable in the long run. They are narcissistic, they're lost, they are always seeking approval, from your side, or your validation, like, hey, tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm great, tell me good things about me. They cannot live alone, okay? But people who are not in need, there are the things that people have, like, sometimes, like, independent people, they want you, okay? When they want you versus when they need you, two different things. That's the video I was watching. It made so much sense. I myself, for example, give you example, I don't need anybody in my life, never. I have everything that I want in my life. I have work, very important. You have to have a work. That's your inspiration. If you're jobless, your brain will eat you up, like you will die every day inside. But when you have work, you have priorities, you have to get things done, and you have to walk every day for cardio, you have to lift weight a little bit, and you have to do shopping, you have to buy things, you have to plan what you're going to do, investment, where you're going to travel. These things will keep you going. And the thing is, on the way, on the way, you'll meet some great people. You might feel you're never going to meet someone great, but you will. And you will not find that you necessarily always meeting those crazy girls. Sometimes you meet someone with very good personality. They have strong personality. They don't also need you, but they like you. Sometimes they text you, they just talk to you. They don't see you, or they don't, text you when they are free. They find you, they make time for you, right? You'll find great people if you're willing to wait. And I really understood one last thing I'll tell you, and I finish, that we control nothing in life, okay? When we were young, when I was young, I used to think like, I need to get this. I was very adamant, I'm a go-getter. Nowadays, I don't do it. If it doesn't happen, something didn't work out, I say, okay, fine, it was not in my fate. Accept, because there's nothing else I can do. When I was born, I couldn't control it. When I'm going to die, I cannot control it, right? So what the people are going to be in my life or something, I also cannot control it. But what I can control is what happens to me, and what I learn from it, and what I do about it. These three things, right? So if you happen to be struggling, you don't have answers, you want answers like, why did my ex leave me? Why did she break up with me without any reason? Why did she cheat on me? Her actions spoke to you. This is what I learned from the coaching. Her actions were the answers, okay? Her silence was the answer. You have to realize it and just walk away from there. Do not chase, do not beg, do not be there, do not take them back when they message you. When you become stronger, sometimes people do wonder, like ladies have this thing like, why didn't he contact me again? I left him. Yeah, true, I cheated on him, but he never chased me, never asked me, never called me. I never call my ex. And the thing is, because for me, if you're gone, if you want to go, go, no problem. I am too much, I'm too important in my world to chase a person who cheats. Okay. I do not value them. And the thing is, whatever their reason was, at first I was mad. I did scream. And then I realized, man, it's not worth it. What is worth it? Like these kind of people always do it. They are not okay. Cannot be okay alone. They have so much fear. They don't want to stay at home. They are not nice to their family, their children. They are not nice to their partners. Whatever, like these kind of people, they are never ever happy. They're unhappy. They seem like, they have so much money. They seem like, interesting and everything. But at one point, you realize they are not happy people. They have everything. If the rich people, you think, they're happy. They're not. They have everything. They have the designer clothing. They have thousands of bags, shoes. My ex had everything. She didn't have everything. She had everything except happiness, and she always needed a man. And when, let's say, if you, let's say, took a break from them, I did that. I just wanted her to see things. I also wanted to realize we were on a break, sort of, and that's the moment she just had to find a boyfriend. So when you see people are so needy, they're pathetic. They will tell you 1,000 things. They'll blame you for everything. You are not at fault. No matter how much fault you have, if they cheated, there's no justification of cheating. Okay. A decent human being, they will always end things like, say, I'm done with you, I will not take it, because they have self-respect. They respect you as well. So that's what shows that your relationship was worth something. Imagine your 8 years of relationship was nothing, zero. It didn't have any value. How were you supposed to feel? You just wasted your life, right? So end of the day, I'll tell you one thing: don't be needy. Don't date people, see people because you need something out of them. Like, I want to have a girlfriend to show the world. No, wrong reason. Okay. You want to be with someone and you don't want to show to social, like, platforms like, hey, I'm dating someone. If you don't show, you just enjoy your time with them, and you just enjoy growing with them, learning from them, and have a good positive vibe. That's all that needed to be done. That's happiness. Okay. Nowadays we have to put everything on social platform, and the thing is, if we don't have it, we just think like, hey, our life is not good. That's why you go spend so much on perfumes. This is what I'm doing as well, but I'm at least doing this because it has some return, because of my content creation. So I keep going. But I always say, be selfish in a way that don't harm others, don't cheat others, don't use others, but be within yourself. Know yourself, have self-respect. If, let's say, you are earning this much, be happy with it, because you are earning what you are working. Okay. Like, for what you're working. Let's say you are not doing so much sitting at home and you expect wonders to happen. It will not happen. It will not happen. And you find it's unfair. It's not unfair. People who drive nice cars, they're successful, they have bank balance, they work for it, right? So go build yourself. If you're a dude, go build yourself. Do not cry. As some people call you simp and everything. Don't listen to them. People who say stuff all the time, but mistake or the things that you done wrong, even let's say you did something wrong in your life, you always can come back. Okay. So people don't feed you. People don't do anything about you. Like when you're down or you are emotionally stressed, they're not there, are they? Right? So people will judge, right? So do what you have to do. Let's say you have to vent out, you have to, do something, do it. But end of the day, don't be needy, and don't be with a person who is needy. Be with a person who wants you, who wants your time, who respects your boundaries. When you say you're busy, you call them back and you actually text, and they wait for your text and they text you back. They don't take 3 hours to respond to you. These are the kind of people who are out there, who are not needy, who will be also okay if they become single or break up with you, because they are actually real human beings, right? They are not pathetic. They are not poor. Okay. Needy people are very, very poor. Their world is so insecure. It's like a house of cards. Okay. For me, it's difficult to deal with heartbreaks and when people misbehave. I am very hurt sometimes, even though I'm a very robotic person. But I realize nowadays, why am I hurt? Because I have feelings. Okay. And it's not just ego. Sometimes I think maybe my ego is hurt. That's why I'm doing all these videos. No, my ego wasn't hurt. It was hurt. I was hurt when I saw that I was lied to. I was betrayed. I was being mistreated. I was yelled at. I was being blamed, and I was being used, all these things, That's when I had a problem. I'm like, why would someone waste someone's time? If, let's say, you are with someone, shouldn't you care for them? Like, hey, man, I shouldn't do this to my best friend, I should not eat their soul up. I should not take all their time, because especially when I don't love them. The cruelest things, like when you realize you are not in love with someone, why do people hang around? for 2-3 extra years because they cannot move on. They need to find someone else, and they're using you in the meantime, right? Don't be that person, and don't be with that person. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Love you all. And I'm gonna go morning walk. I'll come back and upload this. Have a nice day. See you soon. Hopefully you enjoyed the talk. Good night, or have a nice day. Bye bye.